really wanted to check in with you guys. Like, are you okay? Because this time of the year is brutal. It really is brutal because you've got people who are so motivated and so excited and ready for the fall season. They're already locking in. They're already going back to the gym, getting on their grind and feeling great. Like, they are acclimatized to the fall and they're loving it. But then you've also got the people who are struggling, who are suffering right now because the seasonal change is no joke. If you are not equipped and you're not ready for the seasonal change, especially the summer to autumn seasonal change, it is brutal. It's so brutal. And it's kind of like, I spoke about this in a video I've just filmed, but it's kind of like in the summer, we are more inclined to overindulge and do more things and have more plans, things like that. But it's kind of okay in the summer because I feel like seasonally, the universe is supporting us, like the world and Mother Nature is supporting us to allow us to have this downtime because we've got the sun shining, giving us vitamin D and all the minerals and shit like that that we need. We've got the longer days, like everything is a little bit less depressing in the summertime. So we can kind of get away with the lack of routine and the overindulgence and things like that. It doesn't feel so brutal. But in the autumn, we really have no wriggle room. Like, there is no place to hide in the autumn because seasonal depression is fucking on the hunt and ready to take all of its victims. But we are not allowing that. Even though we kind of are because of the things I'm going to talk about in this video, but it'll all make sense. This video is essentially for my girlies who are going through it right now because it's rough. It's rough out here. It has been quite something. I wanted to kind of validate you a little bit and kind of be there for you as support right now if you are going through it, that it is completely okay and completely fine for you to be going through it right now for all of the reasons that I said before. But it's just fine generally. Like, if you are feeling shit in the summer, winter, spring, autumn, whatever, it's fine. You're allowed to feel that. And I don't think that that is something that a lot of us were told growing up. Like, we have been told that we need to be positive and we need to be happy and we need to see the silver lining, look on the brighter side of things, like, just get on with it, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, all that kind of shit. That's the kind of thing that we're told because we live in a world that constantly keeps moving and constantly keeps going, and you've got to keep up, essentially. I think this is very anti-human. Like, it's not how we are meant to be. Like, we are not supposed to be happy all of the time, but it's something that is very much forced on social media. Like, it's forced upon us, like, exit your lazy girl era, how to be happy, how to get out of a rut, how to get out of all of these negative feelings because we just want to escape it, we don't want to feel it. Nobody teaches us how to actually be with those feelings and be okay with that. And that is something that I have really, really struggled with the past month. I have been so sad, so down and out, so depressed. I've been going through grief. We had our family pet put down like a couple of weeks ago, and it has been so sad and so just heartbreaking and horrible. And I know I'm fine now. Like, I have kind of waited. This is why I took a little bit of a break, because I've waited to be able to talk about it and not cry on camera, because I did try filming last week. I filmed and edited and it was all fine, but I just wasn't thinking straight. Like, I was just kind of word vomiting how I was feeling at that point in time, and it wouldn't have really, I don't know, I feel like I want to give you guys more value than that. But yeah, it's been really sad. It's been so sad. And like, I have been so busy, so I've kind of, throughout the days, like, I've just been pushing through it. Like, I've been busy with work and things like that, so I've not had the opportunity or the chance to feel my emotions. On the evenings, I've just been breaking down, crying. Last weekend, I sobbed the majority of last weekend. I was so upset and it was just not good. It was making me think, like, how unequipped I was to deal with those emotions that I was feeling. That was like, this is like the first grief that I felt in such a long time. When I was a kid, I feel like I went through a lot of grief, and it brought up a lot of things going through this again. Not just Daisy, even though it is Daisy, like, that is the main thing that I am just so upset about, but grief is a funny thing. Like, it brings around a lot of feelings. It can bring up past grief that you've had, other people that you've lost in your life. It kind of sends you into a bit of an existential spiral. And there's just a lot of emotions, a lot of heavy, a lot of very real emotions that we have to experience and go through in life, and we kind of shy away from that, and no one really talks about how you get through those things. And yeah, I found it so difficult just to exist and just to be. What I noticed in myself when I have been going through all these things is that during these times I have just been doing every single thing in my power to feel good. Because let's be honest, like, we don't want to feel bad. I feel like that is human nature. We don't want to feel bad. So we do try and do things that make us feel better, but the problem is we live in a time where we have so much pleasure that is so easily accessible, and we can kind of use that to our detriment, and we can allow ourselves to fall into a deeper spiral and to feel even worse, basically. And that is, I think, what I was doing. I have been on TikTok a lot since that time. It's been deleted now, like I've not been going on it, but I was going on TikTok a lot. I was just constantly trying to fill every single void. I was trying to be grateful and have gratitude and do all of the things that people tell you to do on the internet. But at the end of the day, something that I realized is that no matter how many things that you do, no matter how many hacks that you have to be happy and not feel grief or not feel sad or whatever, you're never going to be able to run away from the feelings that you are feeling and that you are going through in that moment. You have to be with them, because they all come creeping back on you eventually. This was what I felt like. I was so busy at work that I would kind of forget about it, and I'd be like, oh my god, I feel okay, like I feel absolutely fine. This is really weird, like why am I feeling fine? But this is great, I'm going to cling on to that. But then it would be on the evenings when I would settle down and I would have a moment of quiet, and I would literally just start Ian Beeling. It was just not the vibe, like it was not the one. And I think it feels so much worse when you bottle things up and then it all comes out in one. It feels like so intense and so just unbearable, and you don't know what to do. Like, you feel a little bit out of control. You feel like you just turn a little bit scatty. It's like, oh my god, and you're picking up your phone and you're going on TikTok and you're trying to find things that are going to make you happy, and you're talking to people and you're just doing everything. And I feel like that's not what we need to do. Like, we don't need to do all that. We don't need to be constantly running away from our feelings and feeling sad and depressed and all that kind of shit. Like, we can just be and exist. And I know if you're going through things right now, that's probably very annoying advice, because we do want solutions. We want to be able to get out of these negative times in our life. But once you realize that there's no escaping these negative things that we have to go through in life, there is absolutely no escaping, and the only way out is through, that's when you can really come to peace with life and what life is, and really be able to navigate it in a healthy and balanced kind of way. I'm not perfect, and I know that even though I'm having a good moment right now, I'm feeling motivated, inspired. Although I feel fine now, like, I'm not perfect, and I probably will have a moment where I feel sad and I feel just so out of control in my emotions, and I feel like I want to go on TikTok and just watch something because I just need a little bit of light in my life. That is completely fine. I just think you've got to really meet yourself where you're at, and whatever you're going through right now, just allowing yourself to do what you need to do, and only you know what you need to do in that moment. But just allowing that, and allowing that without guilt, without shame, without feeling really bad about yourself that you're falling off your goals and, oh my god, I've downloaded TikTok again, oh my god, I've downloaded the McDonald's app again and I've ordered food. Like, not getting so mad at yourself, and just kind of zooming out and looking at yourself from an outsider's perspective and think like, wow, they are going through it right now. They are literally just trying their best to get by and to get through. Like, you do you, girl. Like, you do what you need to do. But I do think that despite having to do what you need to do, and like TikTok, whatever your vice is, despite doing all those things, I think once you give yourself that compassion and you give yourself the space to feel without feeling guilty, that is when the true growth happens, and that is when you actually realize, like, no, I don't want to use coping mechanisms or unhealthy coping mechanisms to get through this time. Like, I actually want to see if there's something else that I could maybe do that is going to put me on a bit of an upward spiral rather than on a downward spiral. Making more conscious choices about what you are doing and how you are dealing with things, I feel like that only comes when you have this level of self-acceptance and you kind of eradicate the guilt and the shame as much as you can, and just be so much kinder to yourself and just allowing yourself to be and do whatever you need to do to get by. I just think that's the best starting point, and it's the best stance for you to kind of get yourself back up from rock bottom or whatever you're feeling at this moment in time. I don't really know the direction of this video. I feel like that is basically all I really wanted to say. Like, I just wanted to kind of validate you guys if you are going through it and you're struggling at the minute, because it's so hard, it's so lonely, and when you are consuming social media, maybe self-development social media, where everyone is doing the most and living their best life and showing their highlight reel, as we all know they do, you can feel really down on yourself and you can feel like you are falling behind and you're doing all these things, but you're not. You are truly not falling behind, because it's in these moments, it's in the deep, dark trenches of grief and sadness and all of these negative emotions that we build so much grit and we build so much resilience, and we learn so much if we just allow ourselves to learn and if we just allow ourselves to be in those moments. These are the moments that are so important and crucial for your growth. I want you to realize that. I want you to allow yourself to be in whatever season you're in right now, not feel the pressure from all the videos online that are telling you to get ahead of the curve, get ahead for 2025. I know that I will be putting out content like that because that's just the kind of content that I enjoy. But I want to equally put out content that is going to reassure you that you don't need to do that. Like, if that's not where you're at, you need to listen to yourself and not listen to every Tom, Dick and Harry on social media. At the end of the day, you are going to get to where you need to be. If you are watching this video and you care about yourself and you care about wanting to feel better and all of that kind of stuff, like, you are going to get to where you need to be. You've got a good heart. Your heart is in the right place. Your intentions are in the right place. And that's all you need. Like, you just need to have that self-awareness to just accept yourself, but also have the awareness to wonder how you can do better and how you can be better for yourself so that you can feel good. Anyway, that is all I really wanted to say today. I felt like I just needed to turn the camera on while the energy was potent and while I'm having this up moment where I feel like I have the strength to share with you guys and try and pick you back up while I'm up, because I know what it feels like to be down in the trenches. And I just want to help you guys. I want to help you guys feel heard and seen and feel like you don't need to constantly be positive all the time and feel like you need to hold in all your complaints about life and the world. Like, you don't. You really don't. It is completely fine to complain. It's completely fine to rant and be angry. Let it all out. It is the best thing that you can do, is to just let it all out. Obviously, we don't want to be letting it out on random strangers and people who might get upset or whatever about it, but there are different ways. Like, something that I always do, and I always talk about this, is I just record myself. Like, on the way to work yesterday morning, and on mornings where I'm feeling particularly stressed and triggered and upset or whatever, I will just record myself. I'll put it on my little car thing and I'll just talk. I'll talk the whole way. I will rant, I will scream, I will shout, I will get it all off my chest, and I feel so much better. It is crazy how I go into that office and I feel like I've had a therapy session, but in the best way, like in a non-draining kind of way. It's amazing because I've just allowed myself that space to spit out the most venomous things that I could possibly spit out about how much I hate my fucking job or whatever it is that I hate at that moment in time. And it just feels so medicinal. So do that. That is something that is going to help you so much if you feel like you don't have the people in your life who you can kind of go to and not feel bad about feeling negative or sad or whatever. Because I know there are people out there who are like, oh my god, keep the negative energy far away. I understand it, I get it, I understand completely actually, because I'm an empath and I do feel like people's energy rubs off on me. But I feel like as long as you've got good intentions, as long as it's not something that you're doing constantly and you're constantly moaning to people and you're not willing to change, then it's fine. It's fine to have a little moan every now and then. Anyway, I'm gonna go because I'm like rambling about the same topic, but I just wanted to check in with you guys and make sure that you're all okay. Make sure that we're all getting through this season together. We've got this. Let me know in the comments what you've been feeling at the minute, if you can relate to anything that I've said, because yeah, it's been rough on these streets. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye.